Hello, 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 goals friends, my gold digging friends, my goals digging friends. So I am really excited about today's topic, talk time topic with Angela. Hello, my goals digging friends. Hello. So I'm Angela Odom, and of course, this is Talk Time with Angela. I want to go ahead and share my screen with you. This is going to be a really, really good topic today. Okay, so again, talk time with Angela. So go ahead and share your thoughts and your comments in the down below in the share bar. You can like this page, this channel, invite your gold digging friends to view Talk Time with Angela, and I want to thank you for that. So Tuesday at noon, this is so exciting. Today our topic is John Boyd's OODA loop decision-making model. And this is going to be really good. We want to know, we want to learn how we shape our decision-making concepts, our abilities. And this is one way to look at it. So, just a little bit about me. I'm the founder and CEO of the Better You Project for Women Leaders. Also the creator of the Learn Achievement Model. I'm a certified personal development coach, and of course, I'm a proud Army veteran. I'm a Christian and a mom of my favorite teenager, the author of Bronco Strong, a memoir of the last deployed personnel services battalion. Now, you can get that on Amazon right now. Co-author of the Camouflage Sisters Leadership Edition. That's going to be released in June 2019. I didn't say June, but I'll let you know how that goes. So today, of course, the Better You Project, the pillars really. The bottom line is I coach my gold digging friends to achieve success in their careers, finances, health, and in their leadership abilities. Again, our topic today is John Boyd's OODA loop decision-making model. Now, this is so cool. So we know the Korean War was in 1950, right? Started June 1950, I believe, and went on to 1953. So we had American fighter pilots dominated their enemies in the Korean War. The training of the pilots is what really made the difference. One of those pilots, one of those American pilots, was John Boyd. He developed a decision-making theory, really, that captured the American advantage in this particular conflict. He later formalized it as OODA loop. The acronym refers to the elements of the loop: observe, orient, decide, and act. And this is so cool because I served in the Army for 26 plus years, almost 27 years. And when I first came into the Army in February 89, I would hear OODA loop. I get excited, like, ooh, what's a OODA loop, right? And of course, it had been developed as a way to use the model, a decision-making model, not the only way, but a way based on John Boyd's experience during the Korean War. And so what is it? What really is OODA loop? Like I said, John Boyd developed the OODA loop based on his experiences as a fighter pilot during the Korean War, and also later as an instructor. The process consists of, again, observe, orient, decide, and act. It's a cyclical model. And what it does is it allows you to continuously adapt to change in circumstances. And then you can use that to draw on your own strength. And really, based on his experience in aerial combat, split decisions, of course, are crucial. And, if you respond too late, then the enemy gets the upper hand, all right? So for us, though, as we're looking at, how does this apply to us today in 2019? We live in a rapidly changing world. So if we don't change with the time, chances are, not going to work out for us. So again, I'm Angela Odom, and this particular decision maker model is, I just really get excited about it still after all these years, because it's just a way to look at how we make decisions, right? So board developed the OODA loop from the key concept of interaction with the environment. The process really in which an individual or an organization responds to an event. When you respond quickly to scenarios and take appropriate action, then you can get ahead of your opponents, right? And you can, and your opponent, that you can use that word negatively or not. The opponent might be your kids, them teenagers trying to get something done, right? so you might want to just look at how you're interacting with your environment, and you determine what that environment might be, because this could possibly be a way to make decisions in all different types of industries and social environments. So according to John Board, it causes complexity in an organization when managers and employees really become prisoners of their own views. Like, this is the way we've already done it. We've always done it, right? Or they see it just from their perspective based on their background, their experiences, especially when we're, so many millennials are entering the workforce. So guess what? We got to make sure we understand their viewpoint also. So an organization can only survive if it breaks through, this type of impasse by really just adapting itself to changing external conditions. This is just a depiction. This is a quick depiction of the OODA loop. So across the top, you're looking and you see observe, orient, decide, and act. You're getting feedback, and each time you're moving forward, and it's not like a static view. The circumstances are constantly unfolding. So if you move through like the observation, and you get outside information, and you come through the orient phase, you're looking at the 5 elements, and we'll go into that just a little later. Then you go to the side. Really, the decision is like having a hypothesis. Like, my son was in the science fair, and so he had an hypothesis, right? And then the act phase was him. It was almost like the action part of this OODA loop. The A is testing of the hypothesis based on those 5 elements and all of the information that you gathered, your own experience, the people that you allowed to pour into you, your team, the weather, all these things could fold into your decision-making process, right? So there are 4 interacting and overlapping main processes. The first one is observe. So what you want to do is you want to take in everything around you. In a plane, this is John Boyd's process. So in a plane, this is not just the enemy pilot you're facing off with. You're also aware of each of the gauges in the cockpit. You're aware of your place in the sky. You may be tracing your opponent's every move, but if you lose sight of the relationship to you and the ground, that's a problem, right? So you're observing. Also, I was thinking about this, in 1950, based on the technology that they would have had in the aircraft, right? So what they're doing is they're scanning the sky, and they see black dots, right? They see black dots, and they have to quickly make a decision based on the black dots they see. Are they friendly or foe, right? And then if they're coming really fast, so they have to orient themselves. And if they have not, if their weapons are in a different direction from where the black dots are, then they got to orient those, right? And then they have to decide and act. And that's just the way I saw it. So really, by quickly understanding what's going on, you can observe the situation and clearly figure out what's going on. And then, you want to look at it from the outsider's view, not just from your own point of view. And then at this point, the results are going to be determined on what you observe and what you allow to come in. Really, in your mind, also, if you're thinking about observing and how do you get your information, right? So the second O is orient. So you must add the meaning to all of your observations. Board consider this the most crucial aspect of the loop because it entails an awareness both of yourself and your opponent. So when you really master the orientation portion of the OODA loop, then you can readily predict outcomes, right? So orientation does, it really is not only only indicate how you see the world, but it also what kind of world you are capable of seeing. So this stage right here really is probably the most important process in the OODA loop after you've organized information from step one, observe. And then the 5 elements of the OODA loop. The names really, no, don't get caught up in the names, right? It's really what the names represent that's important. So we'll go through these fairly quickly. So this is what Boyd was referring to. And again, he developed this after, being in the Korean War in the 50s. So, so the cultural traditions. This is really like, how were you trained and how was your opponent trained? Really say, what skills and knowledge and experiences and talents do you have based versus what the other person has, or what the organization has, or what your kid has, right? Or your spouse. So you just take it, cultural traditions. So American pilots, for example, are given freedoms that their opponents, they are not. Well, we assume that from the 50s, but I think it's probably changed a little bit more. I think enemy pilots are probably training to fight alongside each other. So you have to just think about when he wrote and developed this and where we are now. But anyway, the whole point is take a look at how you would train, what skills you have, what knowledge you have, experiences, all of that. Genetic heritage. So how do you stack up against your opponent? Again, don't get caught up in the names and labels of this, but what it actually represents. So if you're in a boxing match, your opponent may be taller or shorter than you. This is based on genetic heritage. There's nothing you can do about how tall you are, how short you are, whatever it is, right? So you can change the nomenclature of this for different scenarios. You can pair with cultural traditions in a consideration of understanding. This is just a way to approach your opponent. That's all this is, right? And so another element is previous experience. How have similar scenarios played out before? So, think through that. Analysis and synthesis. What have you studied and what did it teach you? How do these ideas work together to create your worldview? And then the final and 5th element is new information. What about this scenario is something you haven't seen before? This is a way of, collecting the information, orient yourself, right? So decide and act. Elements are the art to the science of the first 2. So orient, observe and orient are the first 2, and then decide and act. So we're not robots. This is what Boyd said. We're not robots. So if you take 100 people in a room and give them all the same information, you won't get the same information, right? That just like you used to play that game as little kids, and you would pass the information from one person to the next, and by the time it got all the way back around to that first person, information was changed. So this stage is about learning from experiences based on someone's current mental perspective. They make decisions and determine what actions they need to take. So the right decision is taken and actions actually follow from this. So decide. And then action. The 4th step is one of the most difficult for people because they get caught up in wanting to analyze as many observations as possible. They want to make sure it's right. And it's not going to be, we're not going to do like 100%. We're not going to have 100% of the information. So you need to decide how much information acceptable before moving forward. And forget about that whole being a perfectionist, right? So you want to act. So the ability to act quickly really is what separates those who succeed from those who fail. And this is in all various parts of our lives. So the objective is that a potential opponent does not get the chance to complete the loop as well. You want to be quick to decide and act. Get your information based on your own experience, and then you want to make a decision. You want to act. You want to test that hypothesis. Okay, that didn't work. Let me try something else. Right. So really, the disadvantages of this OODA loop, which I just like saying it. The disadvantages is that John Boyd, he never wrote the ideas down in an article or book. he would mention these in presentations. So this is why there are various interpretations of the OODA loop. The model is detailed and widely used. It does have some disadvantages. One of them is that it skips memory. When a situation has occurred before, the wheel does not have to be reinvented. You know, like you've heard that term, reinvent the wheel. Well, you don't have to go through the loop again if you learned the lesson, right? So, and the other thing is the model has not been tested scientifically. So there's really no proof that the OODA loop is correct. I just love that whole orientation portion though, right? And then OODA loop does not incorporate an opponent. It's based on only your interpretation of the facts. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're all the facts. They're just yours and the information you have. So although we have to reckon with opponents by being faster than they are, we just have to go for it, right? Get as much information as we can and move forward. Another disadvantage is that the OODA loop model does not include the fact of cooperation, and it's based too much on gunfights, opponents, right? As opposed to people collaborating and working together, which is really my sweet spot. So by working with teams in accordance with the OODA loop model, a new outcome is created. Other factors you have to play some kind of role with. You might look at negotiation, task allocation, hierarchy, human behavior, motivation, and so on. These are all factors that affect the decision-making process. So that's one of the things, the disadvantage of the OODA loop decision-making model is that it's based on conflict, opponents, gunfights, as opposed to collaboration and cooperation, right? So the questions I want you to consider, like what process do you use to make decisions? And then what are your thoughts on the orientation stage of the OODA loop model, specifically how you see the world and what kind of world you are capable of seeing? My question is, who shapes your worldview, right? The question is, who do you allow to pour into you? Well, like the five things that you allow to influence your day, your priorities. So, we've gone through the OODA loop decision-making model, walk you through that. But in the end, how do you consume information, and then observe, orient, and those two stages? How do you take in information to shape your worldview? Are you, closed-minded? I don't see anything, I don't hear anything. Or are you open to other people's ideas, other people's perspective? Are you taking in consideration if there is an opponent in the gunfight scenario? Then are you taking into consideration how they might view the world so that you can decide and act in a manner that will help you overcome? Yeah. So down below, that's the question, like who shapes your worldview? And, what process do you use to make decisions? Because this is so critical for leaders. And that's who we are, first and foremost, you and I, we're goals friends, right? GOALS, we're goals friends. So all my goal digging friends, I'm looking for you to share your comments below. So I want you to share your thoughts with others in the comments, share bar below. I want you to like this page, this channel, invite your goals friends to view Talk Time with Angela. And I want to thank you for, spending some time here with the Better You Project for Women Leaders. So I'm going to wrap this thing up real quick. Again, for me, coaching my goal digging friends to achieve success in their careers, their finance, their health, and in their leadership abilities. We are discussing former First Lady Michelle Obama's memoir, Becoming. You still sign up. This is our last week tomorrow. February 20th will be the third session. So we broke it up into the natural breaks in the book. Becoming Me, Becoming Us, Becoming More. Ooh. So this is good stuff. And so you can, again, join us on Becoming More, February 20th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do it over the video, online video chat platform, Zoom. So go to angelaodom.com. There's a link at the top of that page, and sign up, and I'll send you the link to the online book discussion for becoming. Also, at the end of January, I was fortunate enough to be able to attend Oprah and the O Magazine's 3-day Girls Getaway Cruise. Can you say amazing? Oh, it was amazing. So we're going to meet at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Zoom for Q&A. Because people keep saying, how was it? What did you think? Blah, blah, blah. How much did it cost? Where did y'all go? So go to angelaodom.com/Oprah. You like that? It's kind of simple, right? So /Oprah. Sign up, and we will, we'll go through the questions. I'm going to share all with you. Too easy. So, wow, go ahead and go to Grown Women Better You. This is our online community, like-minded women. We're in there encouraging folks and offering support, also accountability for our gold-digging friends, right? And we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at noon. Again, this is Angela Odom, and as always, I'm rooting for you. This was real good. I like this. Make sure you put your comments below. Like, share, and comment this. Like, share, and make your comments below. angelaodom.com. See you next Tuesday.